Question from the crowd?
I have one. Couple questions. One, a question followed by a follow-up. One, can you each discuss at least 3 of your points, just 3 of your points in each of your platforms? And I'll do that, and then I have a follow-up to that after that. So please,
okay.
just 3 of your platforms.
One point that we all share, I hope, is that we need to defeat Barack Obama this year. We cannot provide him the luxury of having 4 more years to continue down the road we've been heading in America. We need to get Sherrod Brown out. We need to make Harry Reid the minority leader, and we need to keep Speaker Boehner where he is. That's a really great goal for the OCRF this year, is to paint Ohio red and get those things happening. Secondly, we need to put our chapters first. That's been our slogan with Unite the OCRF. We know that you guys work very hard. We know how hard it is for chapter chairs to get all of their members inspired, to get them to go door to door, to get them to make those phone calls. And sometimes chapters can't really give much or many incentives for that. So we understand what chapters go through, and we want to take our strong chapters and use them as a model and help them with everything they need, and look at our weaker chapters and give them the resources and the support they need to bring it up to the next level and make the OCRF stronger. My third point would be fundraising, as we touched on earlier. It's very important. We need to have a great fundraising strategy and plan in order to incentivize for our chapters and give them not only the resources to be better chapters, but give them incentives to want to do the extra hours and put in the extra effort. And so those are the 3 things that I think are really important for our platform right now.
Number 1, I want to change the culture on college campuses across Ohio. You'll see in my platform that we talked about electing student governments across Ohio. When I was meeting with the Cuyahoga County Chair today, he loved it because he said they do that at the county parties already with wanting to elect conservative school boards and conservative city council races within their own city. So we want to do the same of electing student governments at colleges across Ohio. The only other state in the union that I know that has done something similar, I think, was Arizona, where we originally got the idea from. They had, I think, about a 60–65% success rate when they did this a couple of years ago. So when you elect student governments, conservative student governments, presidents and candidates at your colleges, it levels the playing field so that you can get that funding, you can get speakers to campus, and it begins to literally change the culture on your campuses. And we can make as many phone calls and door knocks as we want, which we're still going to do, but at the end of the day, we have to convince our like-minded peers why they need to be in the Republican Party, why they need to join the conservative movement. Number 2, OCRF University. That is going to be essentially an operator's manual for chapter platform for how to run a chapter. I know when I talked to chapters, they were kind of thrust in the position. They didn't always quite know what to do. So on top of the advice that we can give chapters, we want to publish a manual similar to Young America's Foundation's Battle Plan, if you've ever seen that, that discusses ways of what you can do on your campus, how you can raise money, how you can hold events, how you can partner with other groups. And just go-to manual, so whenever chapters have a question, they can open up that booklet published by the Federation and see what they can do. Number 3 is the field plan. We're going to get about probably 8 field reps, maybe 10 or 12, depending on what the National Committee sends us. We got about 8 in 2010. They've helped us make about 200,000 voter contacts and increased our membership by about 5,000 people in 2010. We did it in 2010, we did it in 2011, we can do it again in 2012, along with the 5 regional field directors. When I was field director in 2010, it was kind of just me calling all 40 members. That doesn't always work.
And a follow-up to that, this all is great, but why weren't these policies enacted this past year?
These ideas weren't enacted this year, not for lack of trying. There have been great members on the OCRF board this year who have given wonderful ideas. However, this board has been very divisive, and some members weren't very receptive to allowing other members to flourish and use their full potential with their title. So until we can have a unified board, which is what we're trying to do with Unite the OCRF, these kind of plans can't be put into action.
Some of them were, like I talked about, the field plan was implemented very well. Again, we made 175,000 voter contacts. I think that's something that was implemented very well. And as far as the training that we had at last year's convention, included some of the things I want to put in OCRF University as far as technology, coordination and planning, as well as chapter chair fundraising. Those are a couple of seminars we had at convention last year. So yes, some of the things were implemented. I agree that there has been division on the exec board, and Sarah being executive director and me being co-chairman, We're obviously not the chair, so sometimes we want things done that don't always get done, but we have to find a way to work together. And I think when we have the 5 regional directors, those will bring in more chapter influence and help balance out the board and kind of create effective membership. And these 5 regional directors, there's only 2 appointed positions now, which I think is great, which allows it elected members, so you know you're getting the cream of the crop, you're getting the best of the best, and you don't have to worry about just appointed members who may not necessarily have the qualifications.
Thank you.
Any rebuttal?
I would just like to add that I don't think it was a failure on our chair's part this year. There were other members that were causing a divisive structure, so I don't think it would be fair to put it all on our chair's hands.
There was no blaming of any chapter chairs in my response.
Sarah?
Yes, ma'am. There you go.
If there is one thing that the Burt administration has done that you could change, what would it be and why?
Could you repeat that?
If there is one thing that the Burt administration has done that you could change, what would it be and why?
Oh, you said Burton. I think you said Bird. I was like,
He's dead.
one thing that the Burton administration has done that I could change.
Yes.
I really can't think of much. What we have been able to accomplish, we've done fully, I'd like to say. I wish we could have done more. Like I said, the board was divisive, and if we could have unified a little bit better, we could have done a whole heck of a lot more for our wonderful chapters and our organization.
Sam?
I'd agree. I think we could have done more. We could have made more than 175,000 voter contacts. We could have brought more people out to CPAC. So I don't find huge faults in that administration. There are some, obviously, with any administration, but I'd say that we obviously could do more as well.
Question from the crowd.
What would you do, if anything, about regional stability? And by that I mean, I think there's a perception that, and I think it is actually coming to effect, where Northern Ohio, specifically Northeastern Ohio, tends to be neglected, specifically by the Republican Party as a whole, but also on the state college level, due to the fact it's kind of seen as a Democrat stronghold. And I don't think it's necessarily true. I think we need to fight for it, not just fight in Southwest Ohio and Southern Ohio, but we need to focus on Northeast Ohio. We can't just, I know we go to school in Northeast Ohio, and it seems like we're almost neglected to a point. So what would you do, if anything, by that?
I agree. The county chair that we've been talking about in this debate, Rob Frost, the chairman of the Cuyahoga County Party up in Cleveland. There's a reason why I met with him, not just for fundraising, but to see what we could do. Case Western, for example, Northeast chapter, made 31,000 voter contacts. You guys at Kent State made 21,000 voter contacts. So we want to do that. We want to increase it more. And we want to bring together chapters as much as we can, again, which is why there are regional directors put in place so they can contact you directly, and it gives a more personal feel with a direct connection as a liaison between the chapters and the board. So followed up with the regional directors and why I met with leaders within Northeastern Ohio. I think we can get rid of any neglect that there is out there and get the job done for November.
That's a great question, and I will mirror some of those points. Yes, we have these regional directors, and they're going to be so great this year for the battle for the White House and for Ohio. We're going to be able to ensure that you're not neglected because you'll have your own regional director in your respective regions. We also, with the United OCRF, one of our biggest things is we want to partner chapters. Smaller chapters that need more help will hopefully have like kind of a big brother chapter, a stronger chapter that can give them advice. Also, as chair and vice chair, Tyler and I look forward to developing relationships with all the county parties, and then after we develop our relationship, if you need help with your own county party, I was at BW today, and they said that one of the things they need help with is developing that relationship between their county party and their college Republican Party board. So that's one thing that we'd be willing to help you with, is developing that relationship, getting those regional directors to work to help you, and ensuring that nobody is neglected in the OCRF.